Hello, everyone. Thanks for logging on to CBSColorado.com. Time now for a few extra minutes with head coach of your Valor Eagles, Mike Sanford. And during the show, we were talking Combine, and we missed a couple topics, but I do want to go back and revisit the Broncos. So there's a lot of thought. You said something interesting. Everybody thinks they're taking a tight end or running back. Could they go defense and shock everybody?
It certainly could happen. And high priority defensive tackles, teams that go and win Super Bowls, they somehow, some way seem to have taken a defensive tackle or interior defensive lineman the year that they go and win a Super Bowl. So don't get so mad and throw things at your television set if the Broncos indeed say take a Nolan from Ole Miss, that type of player. I think that if the right running back or tight end is available for the value and the Broncos draft board aligns with pick 20, then I think they will take that joker spot that of course, Sean Payton wants to find.
There's a very deep tight end and running back class this year. There's so much to choose from. Obviously, Ashton Genty, is the top choice. Tyler Warren's the top choice. But down the board, there's a lot. Who are some of the guys you like that might be more second, third round guys? A
big-time combine riser for me was at the running back position, Jaden Blue from University of Texas. He's a running back that CSU fans would know really well because he went off in that opening game against the CSU Rams. He ran in the 4.3 range as a running back that has decent size. And then the other one, there's two familiar to Buffs fans running backs that had good combines as well. DJ Giddens from Kansas State had a fantastic combine, also ran in the low 4.4 range. And then Devin Neal, the Kansas running back, I thought was just super productive. So I think there's great options out there. The tandem at Ohio State between Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, those two backs are fantastic. So to your point, you nailed it. There's a ton of depth at the running back position.
I love it. There's a very interesting guy, Brashard Smith from SMU. Played wide receiver his first 3 years. He played running back for one season when he transferred to SMU. I think in many ways that is you kind of are the true joker.
Yeah.
What do you think his transition to the NFL will be like?
It's a unique one. And it's interesting does Sean Payton necessarily want to find maybe the receiver that is the running back, kind of a Deebo Samuel? Because in a sense, do you already have that a little bit with Marvin Mims?
Yeah.
I kind of think of it either you need a bell cow running back that happens to have good hands, so think Alvin Kamara, or you need to find that dynamic pass-catching tight end that you just have not had for quite some time. And I think that there are some options there at the tight end position as well. We talked about Terrence Ferguson, Gunnar Helm, two local products. But the guy that I'm super fired up about, and I can't get it out of my mind, is the run-after catch ability of Harold Fannin Jr. Did not have an off-the-charts combine, but one thing he does do, just like Brock Bowers, he's the guy that you can throw it too short. You can throw those quick little passes like Sean Payton and Bo Nix have thrown with such accuracy and precision, and then they can turn that into a big gain down the field.
So we talked about Shedeur Sanders during the show. The other big guy, of course, Travis Hunter, I didn't get a chance to talk to about. He was listed as a DB. He said that wasn't his choice. He is insistent, I want to play both sides of the ball. I sure hope he ends up somewhere that they're going to let him. But how do you think this ends up playing out?
I think it ends up playing out that, coaches want to win. I'm one of them. I don't like when a really good piece is on the sideline. And he's already proven that he is built different. And I loved his podium as well. And he said, I'm just different. I had some fun with that myself and put the old 2 Chainz song to it. I'm different. And you roll up to the scene, no ceiling on it, right? And that's what I think Travis Hunter's going to do. I think he's going to have a whole heck of a lot of fun as a multiple skill set player on both sides of the ball. And is there any, do you have any question, any doubt whatsoever he's going to be playing two sides of the ball in the NFL?
No, I
have none.
I have none. I just hope that someone gives him the opportunity.
They have to. He's so special. He's so gifted.
Yeah, can't be afraid of something new. A guy that I was very excited to talk to at the Combine, and he was great. That was Torrey Horton. Obviously, his season.
How impressive a young man is he?
It's such an impressive young man. And he kind of said the injury is the last thing you expect when you go back, but I want to show teams I'm defined by how I respond from it. What do you think his combine experience was like? What are teams looking for from him, having missed out on that season, but knowing his potential?
Another, I'd say just like Terrence Ferguson, of the guys that competed in the 40, he was another local product that I think shot up because the question was, how is he going to run coming off surgery?
Right.
He ran unbelievable. At 6'3", 197 pounds, to run a low 4.4 and to back it up two 4.4s in a row, that's a really impressive time for a guy that has had the production that he's had, does have the ball skills that he does have. That's a big skill set type receiver. Frankly, he is a good fit for Sean Payton. I don't know where he goes in the draft, but Sean Payton likes those receivers bigger, and he's shown the ability to be a full skill set receiver that can also run. I love Torrey Horton. I think he's going to end up being a guy that had a quiet, last year in college, but's probably going to emerge on the scene, in the NFL because of his skill set.
I love it. We're looking forward to seeing what he does. Let's talk about you. You got a new job.
I did.
We're trying to keep you here, but you got a new job. You're going to be doing both.
Can I do both?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank
We're going to hold you to it.
Okay.
So exciting, the new head football coach over at Valor. What made you want to do this, jump back into coaching? I mean, to be honest, I've always seen you sometimes before our shows, and you're just geeking out. I'm like, you definitely still have it in you.
Yeah, you've seen me with some film watching ball tape.
What made you want to say, all right, I want to coach again?
I just think I love the relationships with the players. I do. I miss it. I also want my 8 and 10-year-old son to have a team to be a part of, to be on the sideline. That's how I grew up. That's all I know. I mean, I was the son of a coach myself, and I love just the family environment you can create as a head coach. When you do it the right way, these are the memories that you remember for the rest of your life. I remember my high school experience in Southern California like it was yesterday. And so I want to create these memories for the Valor Christian football team and a senior class that's won a lot of games but hasn't won a state championship. I want to give them that experience. Yeah,
that's so exciting. Have you met with any players yet? How's it gone?
I've met every single player on the team. I've actually already, within about 18 hours of being introduced, I was already out on the ball field with them on Saturday morning at 8:30 doing some football. Let's go.
That gets you so pumped. But what are you most looking forward to?
Man, I think just getting back on the field and watching players go from a baseline of, maybe not an elite skill player, but to watch that growth and then look back and be like, you remember where we were at 6 months ago, 2 years ago. I just think it's just that trajectory that you can go on with young people, and also continuity. Valor Christian hasn't had a head coach in place for more than 3 years in quite some time. And so I'd love to be a part of this Valor community for a long period of time. And you got to chase the guy over there at Cherry Creek, your alma mater.
I love it. Look at it. We got Dave Logan. We got Mike Sanford. I mean, look at these. Have you talked to Dave? You guys setting up some wagers already?
I think he's taking. He's going with the silent treatment with me, man.
Okay,
he wants to be. You got to come kiss all 12 of my rings before I have a conversation with you.
Said, all right.
No, me and Dave had a great relationship. He's the best. And he's done such a good job. He's a standard here in the state of Colorado. So look forward to hopefully having a chance to compete with him.
Well, competition is always a good thing. It brings out the best in everyone, and we know you're certainly going to do that. Congratulations. The school is so lucky. The team is so lucky. And we're lucky that you're still staying in media, too.
I know. I'm so excited.
Win-win. Last one before I let you go. The combine's kind of changed over the years, right? Shador doesn't throw. Cam Ward doesn't throw. Last year, the top 3 quarterbacks picked didn't throw. A lot of them throwing at their pro days. What do you weigh combine versus pro day?
Wow, that's a great question. I like combine.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a sicko because I like that there's a standard.
Okay.
In fact, I had a conversation today with one of my colleagues at Valor Christian, Bo Nix's wife, and was talking about how the combine last year was probably Bo's worst performance. It's what I saw.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, he just didn't have a good day. Well, it's because you're out of your element. You're not throwing to your receivers.
Right.
And for real football guys like Bo Nix, it just doesn't feel like football. But I do think that putting them in those tough environments as a coach, it's fun to watch. And it's good to see how they respond. The thing that Bo did such a great job of is he didn't necessarily have his best combine. It wasn't good, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there as well. But he responded in a must-perform pro day and did an unbelievable job for the Broncos in their private workout as well. So that showed what kind of response he has, and that's something I always talk about with Bo Nix, elite response mechanism. And so I think that the combine's always going to be valuable. We even talked about some of the risers from the combine this year. So you've got to take it all as part of the evaluation.
Yeah, I think seeing how they handle those big media scrums too, that's another piece of it.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. All right, well, that'll do it for tonight. Congratulations on the new gig, Coach. Valor, you got very lucky. You got a very good one. And thanks for logging on. We'll see you next time.